Let's see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah. I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra. Work with me, you know that I got it.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Prodigy, we got Sinner, we got Two Sticks, we got Five, we got The Lord is my strength. Appreciate y'all guys for tuning in. Do me a massive favor, smack the like button here on your way in. Subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We're on the road to 19K. Cannot do it without you guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. But today, as we sit on Monday morning, we are less. No, not maybe. Yeah, what? We're less than a week away from the opening tampering period, right? Monday of next week is the opening tampering period of the NFL. Wow. What a day to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking about hopefully some breaking news dropping in the world of the Cardinals next week. I know I don't want to hold my breath because we all understand the circumstances that we're living in and the Arizona Cardinals and not really spending a lot of money. And do they have a lot of money, especially if they release Kyler Murray with all the dead money hit that's going to absolutely hit us. But today, we're going to be talking about free agency, right? We're going to talk about the opening of free agency next week, who could be available, who the Arizona Cardinals have their eye on, and who do you want the Arizona Cardinals to potentially go after. So obviously, go ahead and let me know here in the chat. Let me know who your guys' overall thoughts are on these free agents and all of these people that you potentially want. And we're going to take a look at the top 100 list of free agents that could potentially hit the open market here within the next couple of minutes, right? So let's do that right now because so far there's only really been one name that's been linked to the Arizona Cardinals, and it's probably not a name that people really want to talk about very much. But we're going to be diving into that a little later on. We got Julio coming up with the first super chat of the day. He's saying, is Kyler gone yet? Nope. Kyler's still here, man. He's still on the roster as of right now. And I'm going to be real with you guys. This is one of the most dragged out stories I've seen in a very long time. I mean, unless the Cardinals actually decide to keep him or that's what they're trying to do, this whole thing has been handled very poorly. Very poorly from the top to bottom, from this year to the last year, from the year prior, everything from under the sun. This whole situation has been absolutely handled poorly. And I look to obviously the top of where the Cardinals are at right now. We're not going to focus too much time on this. We had multiple different podcasts speaking about, obviously how Monty and Bidwell and the multiple years it has taken to get to this level. But yes, to answer your question, yes, he's still currently here right now. There were last reports that we ended up seeing from Ian Rappaport was that it's likely that the Arizona Cardinals will release him. Doesn't mean they're going to, but here we are, right? But we are seeing a lot of trades happening in the world of the NFL right now. The Texans are absolutely getting busy. If you guys do not know, the Texans traded for David Montgomery. Yes, running back for the Lions. They just traded for him. So kudos to the Texans and what they're doing over there, man. They're trying to win. And I don't know what the Cardinals are doing, but let's see how this all shakes out. But right now, there's only one real name that the Cardinals have been linked to so far, and that is quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. Whether you like the name or whether you don't like the name, this is a name that's been linked with the Arizona Cardinals, being the fact that Michael Flores spent some time with the LA Rams, and Jimmy Garoppolo has been a backup quarterback for the LA Rams behind Stafford for the last couple of years. And one source ended up coming out and saying that this is Mike LaFleur's guy, right? Whatever that means. Whatever, right? But to me personally, I would rather just keep Jacoby Brissett and run with him. But I understand the business side of it all. If you have a market for Jacoby Brissett and you want to see about trading him, then obviously you do what your heart desires. But I personally would rather run with Jacoby Brissett, being the fact that we saw the chemistry, right? We harp so much on chemistry, and the chemistry is there with Jacoby and Trey, Jacoby and Michael Wilson. Jacoby and Marvin is not quite there yet, but he seems to be caught up to the speed here really quickly. But this is the only name that's been linked so far. But I want to go ahead and take a look at the top 100 list of the NFL.com. They ended up posting out the best free agents that can be available in this year's free agency class. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. Shout out here to NFL.com for putting up this list. Now, they do have Malik Willis as number one, which is absolutely shocking and surprising. Now, if Kyler Murray gets released, will Kyler Murray be a top 10 potential free agent? No doubt. Absolutely no doubts. So Malik Willis is listed number one. George Pickens is listed number two, but he just got franchise tag not too long ago. So, editor's update, the Cowboys officially placed the franchise tag on Pickens. The team announced on February 27th. So he is gone, but you got number three in Jalen Phillips. Number four, Tyler Linderbaum. I did pitch the idea of potentially Tyler Linderbaum getting signed to the Arizona Cardinals being your big time acquisition. Now, does he want to sign here? Probably not, but I'm spitballing, right? But if the Arizona Cardinals did bring in a Tyler Linderbaum to play your center there, it would be really awesome to see the flexibility of Holt to be on any of the other guard positions, right? If you bring in a staple point like a Tyler Linderbaum, which is going to be coveted a lot of money, right? We're talking about what, 20, maybe $21 million a year. But this is the real deal if you're looking for a center that is a real big playmaker, right? Or not playmaker, but a real anchor. I guess that's the better word, anchor for your offensive line. That would be absolutely ideal for me. I mean, if I was Monty Ossenfort, it would be a no-brainer, but I know Monty Ossenfort runs on a completely different wavelength than any other people out there. So that's my idea with Tyler Linderbaum. I haven't really seen any links to the Arizona Cardinals, but I would love the Cardinals to go after him. Alec Pierce has been rumored about potentially getting some sort of franchise tag or some sort of extension with the Colts. Obviously, it hasn't happened yet, but he's also up there. Trey Hendrickson was the guy that I really did like myself. This last year, I wanted the Cardinals to trade for him because we had a lot of expectations coming into the year, right? Obviously, 3-win season. Expectations did not meet over to what Cardinals fans wanted, but Trey Hendrickson, it's said that he's probably going to be hitting the open market. I did hear another rumble out there that maybe another tag is going to be in place, but we're going to have to see how that shakes out. Devin Lloyd, Daniel Jones, rumor is that they are going to be signing him to a multi-year deal. Now I'm talking about the Colts. Still hasn't happened yet, so let's see. I have heard, and the idea floated around about Kenneth Walker. Shout out to my guy Brandon that covers the Seattle Seahawks of Roundtable Sports on the NFC West Roundtable. He actually ended up pitching idea last week that if the Cardinals ended up getting a Kenneth Walker, that would be a real big difference maker, right? He's still 25 years old. He's probably looking for that second contract, which is going to be somewhere in the double digits. And I know people want to stay away from the running backs that get paid a lot of money, but Kenneth Walker is a real, I'm not going to say potential because that makes it seem like it's linked to the Cardinals, and he's not linked to the Cardinals one bit, but it's just something to think about, right? Right now, a week from the tampering period, he's still available. Now, can things change? Yes, we can see breaking news that the Seahawks came up to an agreement with him, right? Or a franchise tag or whatever the situation is. But as of right now, while we're doing this live stream, he's still available. Boya Mafe, also part of the Seattle Seahawks. Rashid Shaheed had a big pivotal play in terms of having their playoff run and obviously their Super Bowl run for the Seattle Seahawks. We got Breece Hall down here. There is a lot of rumors about the Jets not wanting to move off of Breece Hall, right? Editor's update here says the Jets, Darren Muji said Tuesday from the scouting combine that the team will place a franchise tag or the transition tag on Hall if the two sides can't come on terms of a long-term agreement before the league's March 3rd deadline. Guess what? March 3rd deadline is tomorrow. So we're going to be finding out here if Breece Hall is truly going to be tagged or not. I mean, Darren Muji, which is their general manager, really seems to be gung-ho about keeping him in. And I don't blame him, right? Rightfully so. He's a really good player. But that decision is going to be coming up here pretty soon. Today is March 2nd. Tomorrow is March 3rd. So they're going to have to figure this out. Either today we'll hear about Breece Hall being tagged, or maybe we hear about an extension a little later on. But there's that. Elijah Vera Tucker, a lot of Cardinal fans would potentially want him to come to the Arizona Cardinals, have him as one of the anchors in the guard. And let's be real, man. We got so much unknown at guard right now with Evan Brown. No, actually, is Evan Brown is free? I think Evan Brown might be a free agent. If I'm not, I gotta recheck on that. But we got a lot of young promise, right? John Gaines II, Isaiah Adams, which hasn't really worked out to the best, but there's him. You got a couple other guards there as well. Mike Evans would be a cool story, but I doubt he's got to come to the Cardinals. Like, I highly doubt he's going to come to the Cardinals. But you got some other players here, right? Kyle Pitts just got franchise tagged not too long ago. Isaiah Likely, very, very interesting at the tight end position. Wando Robinson, a really good wide receiver for the New York Giants, but probably going to hit the open market. He right here, Rasheed Walker's probably seen to be the best left tackle in the market, and he's going to be paid very handsomely. He's going to be paid very, very handsomely. But take a look at this, man. Take a look at this. A 7th round pick in 2022. Imagine being a 7th round pick and now you're getting paid, right? Sheesh. Walker kept fending off challengers for his bookend spot in Green Bay. He's probably the league average as a starting left tackle, which is worth plenty, right? So he's mainly a left tackle, so I don't think the Cardinals are looking that direction. But if the Cardinals wanted to go more of a, I guess, veteran route, you got the Jermaine route, Band-Aid guy. You want to go that route. And I believe Braden Smith is also still a person that can be available. So, but you got a lot of players that are going to hit the open market here, at least as of right now in March the 2nd, which tomorrow, like we mentioned before, is going to be when we find out these franchise tags or if the Cardinals are going to franchise tag. And I honestly doubt they are. I don't think the Cardinals are going to franchise tag anybody. There's plenty of people on the Cardinals roster right now that I honestly kind of don't want back. Cade Mays, which was the center for the Panthers, he was, I'm not going to say linked, but he was suggested to the Cardinals, right? As part of one of these articles out there. But let me ask you guys this, right? With the only real name out there being Jimmy Garoppolo, is there any other name on this list that you would consider bringing in to the Arizona Cardinals, whether it's running back, cornerback, offensive line, defensive line, anybody? Let me know here in the chat below, and let's start a conversation, right? Let's start a conversation. Charge in the chat says Rob Havenstein would be pretty good. Yes, he would be pretty good. And I had him on my list of guys that are linked to the Arizona Cardinals, being the fact that Michael Fleur was with the Rams and he was seen to be a potential free agent. But Rob Havenstein, probably about a week or two ago, has already came out and said that he's retiring. So Rob Havenstein, although I agree with you, he's, I believe, retiring. As of, I don't think his mind has been changed. I think the announcement already came out that he's going to retire. So I agree with the player. It's just we're a little late to that party because he already decided to retire. Charge in the chat says, does Mike hate Froholt? No, on the contrary. No, I think Froholt is a player that can be very versatile in what he does. He's played guard before. He's played center. He's played a lot of interiors, right? So for me, it would make sense that if the Cardinals were going to be putting a lot of money into a center position like a Tyler Linderbaum, that you can actually have a flexibility to move Froholt to the guard if need be, right? But no, I don't hate Froholt. I think Froholt and Paris Johnson Jr. are really the only guys that are kind of worth anything on this offensive line currently right now. Like I said, there's some intrigue with John Gaines II. Hopefully he works out. There's some intrigue with Isaiah Adams. Hopefully he works out. But right tackle, man, there's a big, big hole there. So I'm just trying to find clever ways of maybe fixing up the O-line. But no, I'm not. I don't hate him one bit. Adrian, what's up, man? Adrian says, why can't they go after K9? Brees doesn't want to be after K9. Brees doesn't want to be in New Jersey. Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, it feels like Brees Hall doesn't want to be in New Jersey, but at the end of the day, it's not even like, it's so unfortunate because like the Jets kind of seem to have already made their decision, right? The Jets have already made their decision. So like we're going to find out today, either today or tomorrow. We're going to find out. We're going to find out today if Brees Hall is going to get tagged or not. I mean, Darren Muji said he's going to get tagged, right? He said that on the combine, that if they can't come up with a long-term deal, they're going to tag him. I mean, he's a good player, so there's that. But K9, yeah, man, I'm intrigued with K9. I mean, obviously the contract is going to really be a big factor as to exactly what he's looking for. But Kenneth Walker III, man, had a really, really good showing in the second half of the season. Once Charbonnet went down, and it all became about Kenneth Walker III, he showed out, man. He really did. He showed out a lot. But that's what the NFL is going to. They're going for more of a running back by committee. Very rarely do you see a workhorse anymore these days, right? You don't see that very much. Now, of course, we're talking running backs because we don't know what's going to happen with James Conner, but let's be real, James Conner's still under contract. So if the Cardinals do decide to run it back with James Conner again, at least for, finishing off his contract, that's a possibility as well, right? That's a possibility as well. But just kind of wanted to pitch the idea of maybe getting a younger guy, but I get it. We got Michael in the chat says keep Connor. I'm not opposed to it. I know you can save some money if you don't keep Connor, but if he goes, there's gonna be a big shoe. There's gonna be some big shoes to fill for sure. There's gonna be some big shoes to fill if the Cardinals move off of him. They need to find a real solution off of him because right now I just don't think it's Trey Benson. Like if Trey Benson can stay healthy in his year 3 of the NFL, then I guess. But I don't know, man. I don't know if this man can stay healthy at all. Julio in the chat. Yes. We ended up talking about this a little earlier on. So the exact compensation actually came out a little earlier. Originally, we heard that it was just a 5th round, but it was a little bit more than just a 5th round that the Texans gave up for. Just FYI. So what he originally went for, or what he actually went for, was this. Because originally it was reported that it was just a 5th round pick, right? But no, that's not correct. So per Tom Pelissero, it says the Texans are sending offensive lineman Juice Scruggs, which don't really know him, but Juice Scruggs, a 4th rounder and a 7th rounder to Detroit for Montgomery. So yes, originally what was reported was what you're saying, but I think Tom Pelissero ended up coming up and said, no, actually it's this. So the Texans gave up an offensive lineman, a 4th rounder, and a 7th rounder. And I'm curious to figure out, because the first person I heard this from was from Adam Schefter. Let me see if he ended up updating his. Yeah, he's the one who originally said a 5th rounder. And then he updated it. Yep, there you go. And then he updated it. So Lions get 4th, Juice Scruggs and a 7th rounder, and Texans get Devin Montgomery. I mean, he's still a really good running back, man. Running back. He's still a really good running back. So yeah, it's a good move by the Texans. It really is a really good move by the Texans. What's up, man? Lord in the chat says, hey, man, Benson is legit in Madden 25. He's my RB1. Yeah, I mean, because on paper, like even when we drafted Benson, I was really, really high on Benson out of FSU. I don't know if you guys remember the videos or if you guys were with me when we drafted Benson. I was really happy. I remember calling my video home run prospect, right? A guy that could be a home run hitter. But the problem is he just can't stay healthy. That's the problem that we're dealing with right now. I don't think that his intangibles of not being a good running back. I think it's a good running back. He just can't stay healthy. That's the problem. And I don't know if I want to depend on 2 running backs coming into the season that can't stay healthy. Like, I don't want to run it back with DeMercado, Bam Knight, although we've seen some flashes of Bam Knight here and there. Michael Carter, which I like Michael Carter, but he's a number 3 guy and a pass catcher in the backfield, right? Like, or Corey Kiner. Like, I'm not trying to run it back with these guys. So the Cardinals need to figure out and establish where they're going to go at running back and kind of go from there. But yeah, man, there's already trades happening around the world of the NFL right now, man. Trades are happening. The deadline of the tags are tomorrow. So if the Cardinals were going to tag somebody, which like I said before, I doubt they're going to tag anybody. There's nobody really worth tagging at this very moment. So it's just the circumstance that we're just kind of living in right now. Now, I want to take a look at the Arizona Cardinals depth chart right now. Now, I did also say that I wanted to take a look at Evan Brown's contract. Let me do that right now. Because I don't remember if he's under contract still or... I think he is, if I can remember correctly. Let me just double check myself. Yes, okay, so Evan Brown is under contract still for 1 more year, and that's 2026. And he's 30 years old. So yeah, he is still under contract with the Cardinals. But let's take a look at the depth chart for the Cardinals right now, because in free agency, this is where you need to fill up the needs, right? This is where you need to fill up the needs. But take a look, guys. Like, take a look at all these potential spots that you can fill in right now, right? Running back, is James coming back? Could Trey stay healthy, right? Wide receiver, I feel pretty confident in, with the exception of that wide receiver number 3. I think we've been trying with the Greg Dortch experiment for a very long time. I think it's time to kind of finally get somebody in the draft, or maybe get somebody else in free agency to go ahead and play that number 3 wide receiver. And that's not a knock on Dortch. It's just, I think it's kind of time for something new, right? And take a look across this O line, right? Will Hernandez, to his own respected right, bless his heart, he just was not the same when he came back. Jonah Williams is not good. Fro Holt, center. Evan Brown had moments in the beginning and then kind of regressed really, really bad. We saw John Gaines step in when he got hurt, looked pretty solid. Isaiah Adams had some flashes here and there, but nothing enough to say, oh, I feel confident. But there's only 2 guys that I'm confident in heading into the season. Left tackle Paris Johnson and center for Holt. That's it. But so many holes on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball. Is Calais Campbell coming back? I don't know. I mean, he hasn't decided to retire yet, so we'll see how that shakes out. Can Darius take that step that we need him to? Well, let's see, right? Cornerbacks, Will Johnson, if he can stay healthy, obviously our number 1. Garrett Williams going down and probably going to miss the beginning of the season really hurts because we're also going to have to depend on some young guys, especially if we don't. I mean, they're not even young. Well, I mean, they are. Like Max Melton is still young, right? Garrett is still young, but he's probably seen to be as our veteran right now. I know we have Sean Murphy Bunting under contract still, and he's probably our veteran. I'm curious to figure out if they're going to bring him back or not. Edge opposite Josh Sweat. We're never able to fill up that need, if I'm going to be real here. Like, we got holes, man. We got a lot of holes on this roster. So this is going to be where the Arizona Cardinals need to fill those holes up in free agency. Now, how much money do they have, right? How much money do they have is the big question. The Arizona Cardinals right now, per over the cap, I believe last time I looked, was upwards of about like $31 million in open cap space right now. Let me just double check because this thing fluctuates so much. Yeah, $31.6 million per over the cap is what the Cardinals have in open up cap space. If they do trade or if they do release Kyler, that dead money hit's going to hurt somewhere, right? It's going to hurt somewhere. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to affect it, but we'll see. We'll see. Jordan Birch has insane. He does. I mean, it's up to him. It's up to him right now. There's no edge really contesting. I mean, that's incorrect to say. Like, there is some edges that can contest what he can do. We just don't know because the way that Rallis and JG has worked, this defense was the rotational, right? Like, they were trying everything in their best to keep all these guys healthy. That's why they did it. But like right now, Birch hasn't really proven. Now, granted, it's only been 1 year, right? So you can't really be too harsh on the young man. But he's really the only guy that we have that I'm like, okay, I'm confident right now. Because Zaven Collins, middle linebacker turned edge rusher, right? Baron Browning feels like a positional guy or like a rotational guy. B.J. Ojolari, I mean, he's not as what we thought he was going to be. Like, next year he's going to be 24, so he's still really young. But like, we gotta get some guys to step up, man. We gotta get some guys to really, really step up. Last year, Jordan Birch had 5 solo tackles, 1 sack. Now, not his fault, truly, right? Crazy thing is Jordan Birch is 24 years old. I just figured this out right now, and I'm not sure why this just came up to me right now. Jordan Birch is 24 years old. B.J. Ojolari is 23 years old. Insane. Dang, we got B.J. Ojolari really, really young. And he's supposed to be 24 here within the next month. B.J. Ojolari is. Interesting. Interesting little nugget there that I actually didn't know. Huh. Russell in the chat says, maybe rotating is what got all our guys hurt. They never got into rhythm. I mean, honestly, I would say that rotating probably could. Yeah. I'm not going to say got them hurt, but I would probably say maybe they were least effective that way. Because, like, even Josh Sweat as your big caliber guy, he was, like, running 65, 75% of the snap count. Like, what I can remember correctly. And I don't think the snap counts are out anymore because they reset it every single year that it comes, obviously to the new year. But, like, I think if I can remember correctly, Josh Sweat, even your big high caliber price tag guy, he was only out there 65, 70%. Now, sounds like a lot, but, like, come on, man. He's your best pass rusher. Why is he not out there? Like, but they probably didn't get into rhythm, right? Maybe that's why these numbers aren't really proven to be very much. But we'll see, man. A lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. Julio in the chat says breaking news. Nobody wants Kyle. Yeah, nobody wants to trade for Kyler, right? I think nobody wants to trade for Kyler. But I almost promise you, and that's why I keep always say that this whole thing has been absolutely like it's been just terrible. Terrible. Like the way that they handle this whole thing has been terrible. This Kyler Murray thing has been terrible, man. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, right now Kyler's still under contract for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, there's people out there trying to mock Jeremiah Love to the Arizona Cardinals for the draft. Let me just see what they do in free agency first. Like, if they bring back Connor, I don't know, man. I really don't. If they release Connor and they don't address anything, then maybe it seems realistic to get Jeremiah Love with the 3rd overall pick. It's just positional value is very important to me. Do I think he's one of the best prospects this year? Of course, I do. I think he's a really, really good prospect. But man, the last time a running back went that high was probably since Saquon, right? And Saquon was the 2nd overall, but that was 2018. That was a long time ago, man. That was a long time ago. Sharp, what's up, man? Appreciate you for being in the chat. He says, I really had a good time in Indy. Seeing some of these players up close made me realize how big some of them really are. Awesome experience. Awesome, man. That's cool that you went over there. That's super cool. Yeah, I mean, learned a lot of things, right? Even from the perspective of watching it at home as well, just watching all these things, but also on the other side of the coin, we know this, like watching the NFL as long as we have been, right? We know that the combine makes some names that people haven't heard of or people had at the 3rd round, 4th round. They can skyrocket to the 2nd or 1st round, just depending on their 40s or how freakish they look, right? A name that's kind of being floated around that probably wasn't in the top 10 2-3 weeks ago before the combine was Sonny Styles. People really like Sonny Styles, but he had a crazy, crazy combine, which now people are mocking him to the top 10 of the draft. So it's insane, man. It's insane to see how these prospects can be 3rd round talents, but have a crazy combine. And now we're talking about maybe borderline 2nd or maybe 1st round picks. It is insane. But yeah, what we know so far is the only player that's been linked to the Cardinals. And of course, the biggest reason probably why is because the quarterback position, right? Quarterback position. Kyler most likely is on his way out. Kyler is most likely on his way out. And I've been saying this for a very, very long time, that Kyler most likely is on his way out. Now, it's not official yet, right? It's not official yet, but I'm assuming Kyler wants a fresh start, and I'm assuming the Cardinals want a fresh start. If he comes back, I would absolutely be shocked. Shocked if Kyler comes back. I don't think he will, but I would be shocked if he does. So that's why people are talking about quarterbacks, right? But let's not forget we had Jacoby Brissett still on this roster. So, I mean, Jeremy Fowler came out, and also Ben Volen. I think he was the original guy that first said it, that the Arizona Cardinals could potentially be looking at Jimmy Garoppolo as a quarterback because he's Mike LaFleur's guy. Whether you want to put some weight into that or not, that is kind of what's been being said right now amongst the NFL world right now. So we'll see. 5 in the chat says K1 and Connor to the Steelers. Well, let me say one thing. If the Cardinals are going to release Kyler, if there was one team I think he would go to over all of them would probably be the Vikings. Now, if the Jets or Atlanta want Kyler badly, and I know nobody wants him badly, but if they did, then it opens up the trade market because it feels like any of these quarterbacks that would say, okay, which teams are available? Most people would point out to Minnesota and say, that's where I want to go. Right there. Minnesota's where I want to go. And right now, I mean, I was really thinking that the Jets would be in play for Kyler, and I think they are in play for Kyler, but desperation needs to set in for the Jets. Desperation needs to set in for the Jets in order for them to do it. Because if they want him, Kyler's not picking the Jets over the Vikings. If he's a free agent, Kyler's not picking the Jets over the Vikings. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening at all. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it happening. Abe, what's up, Abe? Abe in the chat says rumors are saying Love is going third overall. It's not. It's not sustainable rumors. It's not. It's just people saying BPA, BPA. There's no real rumors out there that are saying the Cardinals are going to get Jeremiah Love with the third overall pick. No, there's no real rumors out there. And if whoever you're listening to or you're seeing it, it's not true. I'm not saying it's not possible, but there's no realistic rumor saying that that Love's going to go third overall. Until we get closer to the draft, until we find out what the Cardinals do in free agency, then it opens up more eyes, right? Do I think Jeremiah Love is one of the best prospects in this year's draft? I do. Absolutely do. Do I think he's coveted the third overall pick? Right now, no, but I want to see what free agency holds, and I want to see how this roster shakes out after free agency, right? It gives us a clearer picture. I'm a big advocate of positional value, right? Myself, I think the Cardinals should go trenches. Now, I don't think there's a tackle worthy of the third overall pick, in my opinion. I don't think Fanu is worthy of the third overall pick. I don't think Moanoa is warranted the third overall pick. I think one of these edge rushers are, whether it's Bain or Bailey. I think those should be the guys for the Arizona Cardinals to target. Now, if these people that are saying Jeremiah Love at 3 gets loud enough, maybe the Cardinals do it, right? Maybe the Cardinals do it. It's just how you build out a team. There's just so much other needs the Cardinals need that a running back that's been proven for years and years and years, since 2018, right? Since 2018, that you can actually get running backs in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round, and they could be assets for you 2-3 years, right? But I get it. They're not the caliber of Jeremiah Love, right? Because people are saying Bijan Robinson. They're saying Saquon in his prime. They're saying Christian McCaffrey in his prime. And although I'm not putting that, I'm not like putting that to sleep. It's just at the 3rd overall pick, it's such a valuable spot that I don't know. It's so tough. But no, there's no real people out there. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to disrespect them, but there's no real people out there saying it. Are they suggesting it? Yeah, I mean, suggestions are a dime a dozen, right? I suggest things left and right, right? I suggest things left and right. That doesn't mean rumors are true, right? It's just people are suggesting that happens because BPA on people's board probably have Jeremiah Love at the top of their board. Most general managers probably have it. Shar from the chat says Jimmy G as a quarterback for 2026 won't be that surprising. The Rams are very in love with Ty Simpson, and they're taking him at 29. I haven't heard that they're in love with Ty Simpson myself. I've heard that he would be a real good player to sit behind Matthew Stafford, right? In terms of a system that can probably work very, very well. I don't think it's a consensus that he's going to go 29th overall. I do believe his draft stock has actually took a big jump. And do I believe he's now probably not going to fall to the Cardinals in the 2nd round? Yeah, I don't think he's going to fall to the Cardinals in the 2nd round. I think if you do want him as a Cardinals organization, you have to trade up for him, right? Jimmy G, if the Cardinals go that direction, you know what the intentions are. You know the intentions are just to absolutely just tank out the season. Like, okay, let me rephrase it. Not tank out, but you know that they're not serious about winning. Like, they might want to win, but they're not serious about winning. Like, if they bring Jimmy Garoppolo, they're not serious about winning. They might tell us they want to win, and I might truly believe that they want to win, but they're not serious about winning. You can't bring in Jimmy Garoppolo and tell me that, oh yeah, we're going to fight for the division. Come on now. Come on. Like, that's crazy to me. But no, I agree. I don't think it's so far-fetched to think that Jimmy G could be the quarterback in 2026. Me personally, in my opinion, I would just rather ride it with Jacoby. The only reason I would say Jacoby not being here is if he does have a trade value that was about the 4th round pick. But of course, he probably might go for later on, or what the Cardinals decide to do. I mean, let's see what they do, right? Because there's some real rumors out there that Jacoby Brissett's market, because of his contract and what he did this last year, he might have a market, right? Atlanta, I heard, and also the Jets, I heard as well. So we'll see. Gotcha. Okay, so it's more of a prediction. That's fair. Then that's fair. Because I do agree. I mean, if you put Ty Simpson behind Matthew Stafford and let him learn with Sean McVay, watch out, man. Watch out. Watch out. Bane's arm length came in even shorter than expected, but he's a real deal. His arms will scare off some teams. True, true. I'm curious to figure out if it will scare the Arizona Cardinals off. I know what Ruben Bain ended up saying in his interview was that the Arizona Cardinals interview went very well. That they were cheesing from ear to ear, like anything he said, like they were cheesing. That they were ecstatic. That they were just looking at him like he was Vigo, right? If you know, you know. That's how they were staring at him, right? That he had, like he was Vigo. But we'll see. Yeah, I mean the arm length could scare some teams off. I agree. Rams house says Jimmy G makes so much more sense for me. Yeah, it does. I mean, especially when you're bringing in him to be a guy that's going to be your bridge. Let's be real, he's a bridge. He ain't your future. Yeah, he ain't your future. Just like Jacoby Brissett is not your future. The only reason why I'm bringing in Jacoby Brissett is because he's on a 2-year deal he signed last year and this year. That's the reason why I'm bringing in Jacoby Brissett. As might as well just ride out with him. He's got the connection. He's got the chemistry down with Trey. He's got the chemistry down with Michael Wilson. Why break the chemistry, right? Why break it? Well, because you want to bring in your guy. Okay, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. But I mean, we'll see. David in the chat says, I think free agency will determine how we draft. I agree with that. 100% agree with that, David. I think right now, and shout out to you, celebrates 1 month of membership. Woo, let's go. Let's go. He says, yep, I agree. I think you get a clearer picture of what the Cardinals are going to do. Because right now, people are saying Jeremiah Love when we still have James Conner, when we still have Trey Benson, right, on this roster. Now, if the Cardinals did go after a running back, then that probably puts down all those rumors that the Cardinals are going to go Jeremiah Love at 3, right? So, like I said, right now, I don't think that's the route the Cardinals need to go, right? That's just my opinion. I want to be clear. This is just my opinion. I don't think that's the route the Cardinals need to go. Positional value is very important to me, but if they do go Jeremiah Love with the 3rd overall pick, then okay, let's go. Let's see what he can do, right? But it's going to be one of those things that, of course, we're going to be paying attention to moving forward and what the decisions the Arizona Cardinals do, from here on out, right? But let's see. Let's see. But I agree with you, David. Absolutely. When does free agency start? The actual free agency start of the new year starts on Wednesday of next week. Not this week, but next week. The tampering period starts this coming Monday. So next Monday. So we're on Monday already. Next Monday is when free agency technically starts. Like the tampering period starts. So we're going to hear some news starting next Monday is when the tampering period opens up. So that's when we start hearing breaking news, the players that are coming in for the Arizona Cardinals here and there. That's what we're going to be seeing. But the actual pen to paper free agency is next Wednesday, March 11th, if I can remember correctly. So yeah, it's coming up soon. Oh, it's coming up real soon. So we'll be here in a in a blink of an eye. We're gonna be live next week, and we're gonna be like, holy crap, we're here already. And then we're gonna blink again, and we're gonna be like, holy crap, we're here in the draft already. It's gonna be insane. And then we're gonna blink around. We're gonna be like, holy crap, we're in 2026 season. Let's go. I'll be sitting in the watching training camp, and it's gonna be insane. So Lil in the chat says, I'm listening from work. Awesome. Love to see it. Love to see it. Shar from the chat says, Jimmy G makes sense since he was on the Rams roster and Mike has been around him. Jimmy is smart and makes sense as a bridge for 2026. Yeah. I think that's what pretty much the consensus of what a lot of people are saying out there right now. That it just makes sense. It's just, I'm curious to figure out, are we going to see breaking news that Jacoby Brissett is truly getting traded? Because right now the Cardinals haven't really done very much, like at all. They haven't done anything at all. The Texans have been very, very active with trading and making the roster a lot better than it is right now. But there's not been any movement by the Arizona Cardinals whatsoever. It's just been one of those things where it's wait and see. But that's how Monty Austinford has been running. Monty Austinford runs like that, right? He runs as a wait and see, and we'll kind of go from there. I mean, let's be real. He was the general manager that says, I'm confident in Amari DiMercado. I'm confident in Michael Carter. We don't need to add no running back. I know Trey Benson's hurt. I know James Conner is done for the season. We got Amari DiMercado, baby. I'll leave it to Monty for to say that. So we'll see. Here we go. We got a super chat coming our way. David, what's up, brother? I appreciate you, David. Thanks so much for being in the chat.
Another one.
Got another super chat coming our way. We got a 199 saying this. What's your realistic prediction for free agency? Well, if you're talking realistic, it's hard for me even to put a realistic prediction because Kyler Murray's looming over us. Because of Kyler Murray's looming over the Cardinals, I don't know how much money we actually have. Per over the cap, we know what the dead money hit's going to be for the Cardinals if the Cardinals did release them post June 1st. We know what that's going to look like, right? But how it actually affects the cap space in 2026, I don't really 100% know, right? I'm not going to act like I'm this savant that know how the cap space really works. So right now, per over the cap, we have about $31.6 million. Sounds good, right? On paper, sounds pretty solid, right? But you also need to save some money for the draft picks, right? The draft picks need to equate to some of that. So if the Cardinals really want to do something, like if they cut Kyler, his dead money hit is like $47.5 million. Cap savings of 5.1. So like how much money do we truly have to spend? So it's hard for me to actually pinpoint realistically what the Cardinals are going to do because the Kyler Murray situation is hanging over our head. Now, if they trade Kyler, which we all know right now probably isn't going to happen, because of his contract, then the Cardinals save upwards of about 17 something million dollars in cap. So our $31 million becomes somewhere in the 50s. And now we can actually start thinking realistically and maybe start having some fun. But what we have right now is not a lot. It's not a lot of money, man. It really isn't. I think we're seen to be, where are we right now? I think we were 11th or 12th in, one second here. Let me double check. We're 13th right now. We're 13th in the most amount of cap space, which is kind of middle of the line, right? The Titans have like $94 million. The Raiders have $89 million. The Jets have $88 million. The Seahawks that just won a Super Bowl have $59 million. The Rams that made it to the conference championship, $41 million. The Cardinals have the 49ers have $38 million, and we're sitting with a 3-win team at $31 million, right? So Cardinals need to get to work, man. They need to get to work. The Cardinals need to address a lot of pieces. I would hope that the Cardinals can address the right tackle position in free agency. So we're not talking about, Francis Mourinho or Spencer Fontaine with the 3rd overall pick. Like, I would really love for that to happen. If they don't go running back in free agency, okay, well, I guess the option of Love is still there if that's the route the Cardinals want to take. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, there's absolutely no doubt, man. Like the amount of money that you save between trading Kyler and releasing him, even post June 1st releasing, is night and day different, man. And I think that's the Cardinals wanted to trade him. But the problem is how long they took, how they handled this whole situation. It was just an absolute, I don't want to call it an SHIT show, but kind of. I mean, like it frustrates me, man. It really does. Like it frustrates me to be here, right? It frustrates me. But yeah. Zona, what's up? Oh, no, I'm sorry, guys. Javi, what's up, Javi? Javi in the chat says Zona should save their future first round pick and use them to move up next year and get a much better quarterback. Well, I mean, if they run Jimmy Garoppolo, or I mean, let's be real too. Like, unless everything goes perfect for Jacoby, right? I'm not going to come out here and say Jacoby Brissett is leaps and bounds better than Jimmy. I don't think that's the case, right? I think Jimmy and JB, right? They're one of the same. The only reason why I would lean over Jacoby over Jimmy is because obviously the connection and the chemistry that he has with the guys that are on this roster already. Now, can Jimmy get that connection? He can, right? He can. But they're not leaps and bounds like better. But I mean, like, I honestly don't think we're going to win a lot of games next year. Like, if it's Jimmy Garoppolo or JB, I just don't think there's a lot of games being won. I know what my expectations are, like what I would love to see, but like this roster right now is so it needs help, man. It needs help from top to bottom. It needs help. And we're seeing the Cowboys restructuring deals. You guys see that? The Cowboys restructured like 3 players deals last week, and they opened up like a total of like 60 something million dollars in cap space. There's a reason why now, instead of the hole that the Cowboys were in, they now open up some more cap space. So we'll see. I mean, they're still kind of in a hole probably, but yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see. David in the chat says, "Why don't we trade for Anthony Richardson or their most likely quarterback in there?" Well, I mean, there's some quarterbacks in the draft that are pretty interesting. At least to me, right? At least to me, there's some pretty interesting quarterbacks in this year's class. Now, I don't think they're going to be as hyped up as the next guys, the next crop of group, like your Julian Sayin, your Arch Manning, your Dante Moore, right? This next group of guys going to come out are probably going to seem to be as better, but I mean, Ty Simpson's intriguing, man. Ty Simpson is pretty darn intriguing. 5 in the chat says K1 to San Fran. Imagine that. I don't want to imagine that. I do not want to see K1 in our division. Not that I'm scared of him. It's just I don't want to see him in our division, man. I really don't. It's just too close. It's too close. I'm not trying to see anything. I don't think he's gonna stay in the division myself. I don't. Alex in the chat says K1 and a fifth for Baker Mayfield. Is that just in Baker Mayfield? K1 and a fifth for Baker. I don't even I don't think Tampa. If you're talking about Baker Mayfield, I don't think he's gonna. I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, we need to restructure some deals to open up some money. That's for dang sure. RC3, what's up, brother? RC3 in the chat, dropping a 5. What's up, man? He says this, Mike, this is RC3. On a business run, I don't trust the initials JG ever in AZ again. That's funny. That's funny. David says, do a mock draft. I actually got a mock draft. I'm going to be releasing a little later on today. So just FYI, I know I said I was going to be releasing it tomorrow. I'm sorry. I said I was going to be releasing it yesterday, but because of the news that dropped by K1, it kind of delayed it a little bit. I don't want to throw too much content out because the way that like recommendations is how my videos get pushed out, right? Very rarely do people say, what's Mike up to? I'm going to go to the AZ Sports Fan channel, right? Very rarely. I mean, only the diehards, right? Only the people that really love the channel and obviously roll and ride with me for a long time, they go and say, hey, I want to see what Mike's doing. I want to go to AZ Sports Fan, right? And on this channel, see what he's doing or see what's up, right? But for the most part, everything's getting kind of pushed out because of recommendation. That's how YouTube works. So I pushed it a little bit, but I am going to be sending that video out here a little later on today. It's going to be the mock draft post-June, post-NFL Combine. I can't speak right now, man. I can't speak right now, but yes. Appreciate you, RC3. Thanks for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. We got another super chat coming our way, this time from David. Do a mock draft. Yes, we're going to do that a little later on today. We have one already kind of loaded up, and we're going to be setting that bad boy out here soon. So make sure, post notification bell on, and then I'll give you guys my overall thoughts. Just FYI, spoiler alert, I'm not going Jeremiah Love. Spoiler alert, I'm not going Jeremiah Love. I am not doing the Jeremiah Love thing unless the Cardinals don't really have a real viable solution after free agency. I'm not doing Jeremiah Love. Regardless of what you hearing people say out there, I'm not doing Jeremiah Love. I'm not. So just spoiler alert, I'm not doing that. The Lord and the Monty is here sitting on his hand. I mean, Monty's always done that. Like, what? I've been saying that since Monty's like second year. It's like man sits on his hands too much, bro. He's just not doing anything. Like Monty Ossenfort doesn't really do very much, unfortunately. He just like sits back, and I'm not sure if this is a Bidwell thing that he like signs off that says, hey, don't do anything. But yeah, man, it's kind of gotten to the point where it's getting a little annoying, man. It's getting a little annoying that Monty Ossenfort really doesn't do very much at all. But we'll see. We'll see. That's why I was so hesitant that he was going to be the guy to trade off Kyler. Ugh. We'll see. El Tali in the chat says, is Sonny Styles the best player available? No. No. I think Sonny Styles helped out his draft stock tremendously. If you want to say the best inside linebacker, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I think his draft stock absolutely took a massive jump. A massive jump. I don't think he's the best player available myself. No. I think he had a really, really good combine. And to his own respected right, he probably landed himself in the top 10 now because of that. No, I think the best players that are probably where the Cardinals are going to be picking is probably going to be Ruben Bain, David Bailey, Jeremiah Love. If you want to force a right tackle, Francis Mawinoa. If you want to force another right tackle, Spencer Fanu. Right? Those are probably the best options at 3. I'm sorry. Those are the. Let me rephrase that because I don't think Mawinoa or Fanu is the best option at 3. Let me rephrase that. The 3 that, or I guess the 2 that I mentioned, Bailey and Bain, and I would throw Arvell in there as well. The best options at 3. If the Cardinals traded back, I'm okay with Love. Accumulate some more draft pick, I'm okay with bringing in Love. Just not at 3. Just my opinion. But the other guys, they're warranted a first round pick, obviously, but like not at 3 though. The guys that I would assume the Cardinals probably want to release. I mentioned this before. Obviously, courtesy here of Over the Cap by providing all this information. Budda Baker's not going anywhere. I know we've talked about him before. Budda Baker's not going anywhere. And it's obvious that Budda Baker was very, very heavily involved in the culture of the Arizona Cardinals. He's not going anywhere. The reason why we were all scared and actually talked about Budda is because he put his house up for sale. So we were like, oh man, here we go. What's happening, right? So everybody got a little worried, but Budda's not going anywhere. He's going to stay. Now, Dalvin Tomlinson. What you can get from Dalvin Tomlinson, especially if you want to call it a post-June designation, you can save a lot of money for Dalvin Tomlinson. I'm talking about upwards of like $12, $13 million for Dalvin. If you do want to, quote-unquote, release him and call him a post-June designation, right? James Conner opens up another, $5 million, right? Give or take. If they want to go that direction. Sean Murphy Bunting opens up another $5 million as well. So, Bilal Nichols saves up about $3 million, close to $4 million if the Cardinals in that direction. And honestly, Bilal Nichols probably shouldn't even be on this roster anymore. Zaven doesn't really open up too much. I guess he opens up around 3, maybe like a little under 3 million. But yeah, man, the big guys that are getting paid a lot of money right now. The biggest one is Kyler, man. Kyler's getting a chunk of this cap right now. And this year, if he stays, which let's be real, he's not, but he's got a cap number of $52.6 million per over the cap. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of money. David in the chat says there's no way K1 goes to the Jets. That's worse than the Cardinals. Yeah. I mean, like I said, if the Jets act out of desperation and they want Kyler, let's be real. This is the same organization that got themselves Justin Fields, right? And everybody was happy about it. I remember Jets fans excited, man. Jets fans were excited about getting Justin Fields. Oh, man, we got him. This is the guy right here, they said. Kyler Murray is way better than Justin Fields. Way better than Justin Fields. So if the Jets act out of desperation and they want Kyler, call him up. Call up the Cardinals and see what it will take, right? Now, obviously, the money is a big deal. The money is a big deal, and it is. I get it. So Cardinals are going to need to have to eat some money, but let's see if somebody's willing to give up some sort of draft capital. But that would be the best route for the Cardinals, to trade him. Not release him, but to trade him. So let's see. We still have, by the 5th day of the new year, is going to be, let me see here, around the 15th-ish. So we still have a little under 2 weeks by that. So we're going to find this out soon. In a little under 2 weeks, we're going to find out here if Kyler Murray is staying or not. Because Kyler isn't picking the Jets over the Vikings if he gets released. Let's just put in that perspective right there. He's just not. Sharp from the chat says, Monty does plenty. He's very reserved and doesn't say much. I would really like to see Monty pull off his magic again and trade down from 3 and then back up to get Ty at 28. I would love to see some aggression as well. I would love to see some aggression as well. Ty Simpson's the second best quarterback in this year's draft, behind Fernando Mendoza, and I wholeheartedly believe that. I really do. So let's see. Let's see. Here you go. The 16th. Okay, so the 16th is when we're gonna find out. So that puts us at. So right now we're sitting at March. So it's 2 weeks from now. So not a little under. It's actually 2 weeks from now. So that's the 5th day of the new year. There you go. That's when we're gonna. That's probably when the Cardinals need to figure it out. So I'm hoping by here until now we're gonna hear something. We're gonna hear something. Lorenzo in the chat. What's up, Lorenzo? I hope the Cards are petty towards Kyler's demands. We don't get anything with this release. We still get stuck in cap space and get no draft capital, even for a 4th or later. I agree, man. 100% agree. If the Cardinals were to play hardball, this would be ideal. The problem is that if he didn't have a guaranteed salary hitting next year, that's what I think they're trying to avoid. The $19.5 million at the 5th day of the new year that's guaranteed next year, which on paper, right, $19.5 million compared to what quarterbacks actually get paid is not very much, right? But that's just the guaranteed portion. It's not the cap space, or the cap hit and what he gets. But yeah, man, I would love for them to play hardball too. It's just I don't know, man. I see Bidwell, and I don't know if he's going to be up to the task. Fran, what's up, Fran? Appreciate the super chat. We got another 2 coming our way. Thank you so very much for the super chat. He says, what do you think about Carson Beck? I don't mind Carson. Beck. Here's the thing. It depends on what they do in free agency, right? Now, if the Cardinals go with Jimmy Garoppolo, I would still like them to humor the fact of getting maybe a rookie quarterback, right? And like I said, my mock draft's going to come out here pretty soon, like maybe within the next hour or so of when we stop live streaming, which we're going to be stop live streaming here pretty soon. But yeah, I'm going to release a mock draft, full round, 7-round mock draft coming out here for the Cardinals. So I don't mind Carson Beck at all. I think I have Nussmeier a little higher than Carson. And honestly, I'm intrigued with Aller. Especially if you're going to potentially get him in the 4th round, maybe a 5th round pick. I'm intrigued with Aller. I really am. I think a lot of these guys helped out their draft stock. I'm not saying up to the 1st round. The only one that's done that is probably Ty. But Carson Beck is he's intriguing, especially if we're talking about like a 5th round flyer. I wouldn't mind that. 4th round flyer. Maybe more 5th round for Beck more than that. But yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't mind it. So a couple more comments here, and then we're going to be closing up shop. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. By the way, if you guys haven't already, smack the like button. Do me that massive favor. Smack the like button, everybody. Also, subscribe if this is your first time here. We're just chopping it up, talking all things Cardinals, because technically from right now, we are 1 week away from the tampering period being opened up for the Arizona Cardinals and the rest of the NFL. So super, super excited about it. And I don't know if you guys heard, but there's a lot of rumbles out there about maybe Max Crosby getting moved. I'm not saying we're in it. I'm not saying, the Cardinals need to go after Max Crosby. We know the circumstances we're in. He ain't not choosing the Cardinals. He's not choosing the Cardinals at all. But we might see a lot of moving parts this week. A lot of moving players. Already seen the Texans be very, very heavily involved. So we'll see. WJ in the chat says, I would trade Murray for a 7th at this point. Yeah? I mean, unless the Arizona Cardinals are really, really steadfast on the idea that they want what they want, but we're kind of not in a situation that we can really play hardball. But also the Cardinals aren't really versed as to knowing what's going on in the NFL world. I don't want to be mean, but let's be real. Nobody really thought that Kubiak was actually attainable. Let's be real here. Thankfully, Mike LaFleur wanted this job, and thankfully, Mike LaFleur said to himself, I want to be the next head coach of the Arizona Cardinals one day, right? Thankfully, that happened, because that could have gone sideways on us real quick. Clint Kubiak was never going to come here, ever, and the Cardinals delayed the inevitable of not just signing LaFleur. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Lorenzo in the chat says, I read a report that he might be Menzel 2.0, but not as public. Need to research more about that first before getting back. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I definitely think there's multiple guys on this quarterback room that if Jimmy G doesn't do enough winning, or Jacoby doesn't do enough winning, that you have at least a rookie that you can throw in there and try to develop, right? Not saying that Clayton Tune was the answer, but also Clayton Tune was kind of robbed of any, what's the word? development. He wasn't able to develop. Now, when we saw him, he didn't look really good, but, it was robbed with any development. So I would like to see any of these rookies, if the Cardinals want to throw a flyer on them, give them the option to develop. Give them the actual option to develop. El Tully, let's make this the last comment. El Tully in the chat says, hate to see if Max goes to San Fran. That would be crazy 2 times a year. Yeah, Max Crosby in San Fran. Max Crosby on any place in this division would be crazy, man. And it's crazy that we're the Arizona Cardinals and we're never, ever going to talk about a guy, high caliber name like Max Crosby. Or hell, even at one point we were talking about Trey Hendrickson. But yeah. Definitely not realistic here for the Cardinals, unfortunately. But all right, everybody, let's go and close up shop. I want to thank every single one of you guys for tuning in. Another quick shout out here for all the super chatters. We got Julio, we got David, we got RC3, David again, and then Fran as well, going ahead and tying a nice bow on this live stream. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We got free agency tampering period opening up next week on Monday. Free agency pen to paper actually is on next Wednesday. So it's coming up here pretty soon. We're going to get a better picture on what the Cardinals are going to look like heading into 2026. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go and close up shop right here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You guys are all absolutely amazing. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cardinals. Another quick reminder, we're going to have a mock draft a little later on as well. It's coming out. All right, guys. Peace out. Later.